All right, I think we're live. A little bit different this time. Hello, everyone. Let me check here and make sure that I am live. There I am. Okay. So what I have to do is turn this down. All right, very good. Well, hello, everyone. Can I get an audio check in the chat here? KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts. Good evening to everybody. Another live stream we're going to test out. Looks a little different this time. Tried to make it other than my background of drums and junk and whatever else. I figured I'd throw a little green screen in there and see how it's working. Hopefully my audio is working. Yes. Before I go any farther, hopefully the stream looks good. Okay, good here. Very good. So I got two windows open here. I want to shut this one off so I don't use the bandwidth because I can see everything in this window. Very good. All right. Well, let's see. We go like this. There we are, HamRadioConcepts. And so, again, no real topic here. A couple things different. I did get my headphones on, so that way you don't hear the calls when they come in, because everybody said, I hear echo. So, but the goal of the video here to just talk about whatever you want. You guys mean a lot to me, and I guess the last time I tried this, everybody thought it was pretty cool. You know, there's a couple of radio shows across the world, not on YouTube, but terrestrial radio, that have done the same format, and I tried it with this one, not to be a copycat, but to just see what happens. So a number where you can call and just kind of talk about whatever. Hey, I got this radio. Hey, I want this. Hey, I saw your video on this. How'd you do that? Whatever. I mean, you can talk about whatever you want. I mean, unless you hate my guts and you want to yell at me, well, nobody else might not want to hear that. Other than that, nobody wants to talk about, I don't want to talk about what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what you want to talk about. So a live stream here, we'll do it again. It's 9:02 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully everybody remembered to set their clocks back, fall back, so that you're on the right time. Because I think that would mean, let's see, it would be 10 right now, so you probably waited a whole hour for me to get on, and nobody was here, right? Because you had your clocks wrong. But so anyways, I got the chat going in the window there. You can see that. Everybody can see it on the screen. The number's on top. I haven't turned the thing on yet because I have noticed that since I've done this, there was very many people that tried calling all throughout the week and left voicemails. And unfortunately, I can't get those because I got it on Do Not Disturb. So that's just a Google number, and, I can't be answering a phone 24/7. But I got it turned off for now. So hello to everybody. I see the chat's going. Hopefully there is no audio lag. Hopefully everybody, not like the last time I turned the bandwidth down, so hopefully the audio is good and in sync. So I'll touch on a couple things here. I've seen two people already. So well, let's get to let me broadcast this first. Yes, Echo Link. I got you, Randall. Remind me in a minute. So one of the questions that I had that I've gotten a few times, and people have asked, and and it just happened tonight again. So a couple people asked, why don't you post your videos on QRZ on the front page anymore? And the answer to that is, I guess I don't really fit in with that audience. QRZ.com is a great resource for swap meet, for forums, for videos, news, and stuff like that. But on the front page, if you haven't been to that website, the front of that website, there's like a bunch of videos of news or whatever they post. They call it a news section, but there is a lot of videos there. So I used to post videos there, and some other YouTubers have as well. But I got nothing but negativity. So I guess I don't appeal to those people who've probably been doing ham radio like 3 times as long as I have. So instead of just taking all the, I could take negative criticism, but to, tell me my videos don't belong there and I should get off the site and all that, that's pretty much why I disappeared. But I did put a couple things on there for sale tonight and sold those, but they were pulled off because I put too many things on, and I guess, it didn't meet their criteria. So what I was going to say was, if anybody's interested, I am selling my rugged spot. I do have the open spot too, which is over there on the desk. The rugged spot that I have here running Pi-Star, I'll put that on my Facebook page if anybody wants to contact me. Great hotspot, but I don't need it. So the rugged spot here running Pi-Star does DMR, C4FM, System Fusion, D-Star, P25. the yellow case. I'm not sure if I'm the only one with the yellow case or not, but if you want the rugged spot, get a hold of me. I'm selling that. And I'm also selling the RFinder K1 DMR smartphone. I got it turned off now. I got this that I'm putting on for sale on my Facebook now. And for those who aren't following on Facebook, I usually put some stuff on there because my Facebook fans, some of them watch YouTube, they don't watch Facebook, and I put the stuff on there because they're looking for. I usually price it less than what it's give you a little bit of a deal, and so I figure I'd sell that too because I don't need it, and I got the box chip and the Fusion radio and D-Star and all that. So the K1 RFinder is for sale with drop-in charger. The accessories alone for that I have would come up to close to $1,000, and I'll take $600 for it with everything, drop-in charger, 2 cables, everything. So enough of me selling stuff on my YouTube channel. We'll talk about getting a license. That's something that has come up in recently because I don't do. Another question I've had. You don't do videos about getting your license. Why? Why don't you do videos like this guy and like that guy? Because I don't feel that I do a good job at that. There's Dave Kassler, KE0OG, I think it is. He does a lot of those videos, getting your license, breaking down the questions in the answer pool and stuff. And I don't just want to start doing that, and I just figured there's other people doing that. But what I will recommend to you if you're wanting to get your license, what I would recommend is what helped me was the Gordon West series, because the Gordon West books, they usually come with a CD, and you can pop the CD in and you can listen to him, and he'll kind of explain it a lot of similar how I do it. Instead of just reading a question and answer, he'll give you an idea or an example of what that means. So when they say, this and this and this kind of transistor, you're like, what? But he kind of gives you a breakdown in a sentence or two of what that means. And the books are really detailed. So the Gordon West series, I think, are by far my favorite to learn and get. That's what I have for my tech, my general, and my extra. I haven't got the extra yet, but it's a great resource. That's what I think. And then once you're comfortable going through that manual, you listen to the CDs, then go online, do some practice tests, and see exactly how you do in the practice tests, and you'll feel better about going to get your license. And your license, back in the day, you used to have to go to an FCC office, and now there's a ton of places that are out there, like our local club in Vero Beach. They have testing. I think it's every third Thursday of the month, and it's like $15 to $20. They have volunteer examiners, and you can get your license, and they all check it, and you meet a great bunch of guys there at your local club. So when you used to go to an FCC place, I guess it was a bunch of people, before I was alive, that were just examiners, and now you're going a lot of times to your local club or a ham fest where they do it for you, and you get to meet the people that you'll be talking to on the radio. So getting your license, find your nearest club to you, and you'll talk to some people, and they can point you in the right direction to get a license. So what I'll do is I'll turn, let's see, I'm going to turn the phone on. The number's up top. Let's see if anybody wants to, let's see, that should be good. Let's see if anybody wants to call. Now, I should hear the audio in my headphones ringing, and you should not. That way you don't have the echo and everything else. So I could turn it up and hear you a lot better. I'll turn that up here. So my backdrop is just a generic one. I don't really know. I have a lot of them on the computer, and I thought, well, I'd like to have something that was a little more yes, I have been to Hamcation in Orlando several times, Joe, and I plan on going this year. I'll be there. And so the backdrop is kind of generic. I don't really have anything fancy there. But, I didn't really want to overproduce this thing anyways. I didn't want it to be terribly like, whoa, I'm some superstar. I'm just another guy like you doing the videos on YouTube. So the videos I got coming up, I got some coming up. One of the biggest videos that I have right now, and I can't believe it, but one of the biggest videos that has hit real hard on my channel is the free TV video. I could not believe it. And you know where a lot of those people came from? They're in Panama City in Florida, where the hurricane hit, and they're looking at, I got a phone call coming in. They're looking to find TV, and that's where they found it on my video. Let's see. Usually there's a 6-second delay. Hello, you are on the air. Hello? Ooh, That's a good one. Can everybody? Let me just make sure. Can everybody hear? What was it? KM6 SDR? SDL. KM6 SDL. Can somebody hear KM6 SDL before I have a conversation with you and nobody can hear you? Just wanting to make sure that I got everything dialed up here, but nobody's gonna respond in the comments here. Are you watching the live stream? Can you? I'm wondering if maybe I'm just wanting to make sure that if everybody can hear the. See, he can't hear you. Let's see. Hold on. Desktop audio. So nobody can hear you except me. I wonder why. Let's see. Google phone. Let's turn this one on. Let's try that. No. I'm not sure why now I cannot get your audio. Oh, I know why. I know why. Right here. Let's try this. All right. Go ahead and say something. Oh, it's terrible. You know, these things happen when you're live, man. You know? Yeah. I don't know what I did. Let me see. Let me try this. I guess I can't test this. Oh boy. Somebody once told me when I was doing my very first live stream, they said, the power behind the red blinking light, and they said it's so, you're live. There is no, there's no editing. It's all, if it's there or not, mistakes or whatever. Let's see. Let's try this. Yep. So I'll answer your question. DMR versus D-Star. Wow, I'd like to. Let me try this. Let's try that. Say one more time. No. Yep. You're not coming out. Okay, so I will answer your question here. I can't figure out why I can't get your audio on here, but DMR versus D-Star is like a whole different animal. So you have, and this is my theory on it. Okay, D-Star is by far the longest running. D-Star has been around the longest. It was developed by the Japanese Amateur Radio League. It is primarily with ICOM equipment with the addition of the Kenwood. DMR comes from a commercial market, and there's adopting all kinds of different developers or manufacturers of equipment, a lot of Chinese manufacturers. Then you got Hytera, Motorola, and stuff like that. So you have ICOM and the Kenwood D74 making gear, and then you have X amount of people that are making gear for DMR. At the same time, D-Star's got a lot more features that DMR doesn't have. To me, DMR is pretty boring. All you can do is connect to a talk group, and that's it. Whereas D-Star, you can do picture messaging. You can use, the Bluetooth on your app, on your cell phone, linked Bluetooth to your radio. You can do DRATs. DRATs is, it's like a digital communication over D-Star, and you could have data going from your laptop through a repeater to wherever else, what they call a ratflector instead of a reflector, at the same time as you're talking. So there's a lot of things you can do in D-Star, and DMR is kind of just, let's get on and talk to somebody, And with the addition of all these different manufacturers, DMR is just a cluster. There's so many problems every time I get on there, and that's just me, but I've heard a lot of people say that. You got this brand. Now they're linking DMR to Fusion. This repeater takes longer to time out than this one does, so you got to leave a 10-second pause, or else you're keying up, 90 repeaters across the world. All of them are set differently, and it's just a hassle. But D-Star versus DMR is a lot more features in D-Star. You have X reflectors, RX reflectors, DCS reflectors. DMR is just talk groups, and it's whatever the person sets up on a repeater or the talk group you set up on your hotspot, if that answers your question. And so somebody asking D-Star versus C4FM, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, and DMR, the thing with everybody getting into it is because it's so cheap. You get what you pay for when you buy a $400 D-Star mobile versus a $50 or $80 D-Star or DMR handheld. It'll work. It may sound okay, but there's really not a whole lot there. So that's the big difference for me if you wanted my opinion on it. But they're both popular, so you're going to find someone to talk to on both of them. All right. Have we? Cool. Well, glad to have you first call today. I'm pretty upset that my live stream doesn't have your audio on there, but this may be the last live stream I ever do. So, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. You too. See ya. All right. So yes, I know we can only hear one part of the conversation because I'm not sure exactly why. The desktop audio is just not coming through. I'm gonna try one more thing here. Let's try this. How about that? So yeah, terrible. Terrible. I'll just check out some of the chats here on the screen. And now the live stream is out of sync. So far we have two things wrong. There we go. I bet you can hear that. Let's try this. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. I think I got the desktop audio fixed. Hello, you are on the air. Hello.
Hey there.
Hey.
This is Sam, KY4 USN, or KY9 USN, sorry.
KY9 USN. And everybody can hear Sam, I'm sure. Give me let me know on the chat. And Sam, listen to me on the phone, not on the video, because it's going to give you a big delay.
Yeah, I am. I'm listening to the phone.
Okay. I can hear you in the back. Okay.
First of all, I wanted to thank you. I got a jumbo spot.
Okay.
And without your video, I would have never been able to fix it because I got no documentation with it.
Right. I heard that before. So
anyway, I do have a question about it, though.
Go ahead.
You said in the video that you would go from your router in your house
right,
and take it on mobile hotspot. Do you have to reprogram every time you take it? Or is there any way to set it up so that it can connect to two different things?
Well, no, mine was set to connect to two different things. In Pi-Star, once you're in the dashboard, you can log into the dashboard and then go down the bottom in the settings and without looking at it, there's a place where you can click Add Network and you add a whole nother SSID and password. But when you do that, make sure that the phone is on so that it can detect that and join it. If you just sometimes if you add it without it being in range and then you expect it to jump on in the truck, it gives you an issue. But no, you can add two of them or a multi. I'm not sure how many, but I had two. So that a lot of times what would happen is I would leave the house or get in my truck and start it up, and it was still on. Even though I had the phone on, it was still on my Wi-Fi router in my house, and I had to like drive away from the house and then turn on my phone because it was like, okay, I'm still on Wi-Fi in the house, but you got your phone here, and it didn't switch sometimes. So I would turn it on when I hit the stop sign, and that way it wasn't, it didn't have both of them in range. That might be a problem too.
Okay, so that's what I noticed that on that setup page, it's down at the bottom, but I thought maybe it was for just changing a password or something. So that's where you go to set up a completely new one.
Yep. You can add another one and put it in so that you have two networks on there. And again, I'm not sure exactly how many Pi-Star will do, but I know that I have one for my hotspot in the truck or my phone, which is always in me in the truck, and then I got one at the house. And the OpenSpot does the same thing, where you can add multiple ones. So I think that's kind of a thing that's coming with all the hotspots now.
Okay, well, cool. Thank you very much, and please keep up the good work.
Well, I appreciate it. Hey, the live stream thing is still new for me, but now that I finally got it pretty much narrowed down, it's a work in progress. But I appreciate you watching all my videos.
Well, you have a great one.
You too.
73.
73. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we got it working now. That jumbo spot, what's funny about that is I get emails daily. And they're like, hey, Eric, do you still have any jumbo spots left? So the reason I did that was because, I did a video on a jumbo spot, but I dropped like $2,500 and bought 25 of them. And just because I knew when that thing came out, everybody's going to watch the video and want one. And, I figured, so I didn't make hardly anything on those. By the time I shipped it, I made like $3 a unit. Plus a time to package each one of them, ship them out, and help them when they called. So I wasn't trying to be a seller of ham radio stuff, but I'm still getting emails of people just seeing that video, and they're like, hey, I want a jumbo spot. I don't have any left. I probably won't do that ever again. That was a lot of work and wasn't trying to be a moneymaker. I was just trying to get them in my hand, thinking I would sell all 25 of them, but you would have a place to buy one when you saw the video and know, where it's coming from. And so far, all 25 of those units never had a problem, so I'm thankful for that. Yes, and Randall, so your word on Echolink, Randall. Echolink is something that's been around for a while. Echolink, I think, is still useful because of the simple fact that a lot of people don't want to get on digital. So you have your people on D-Star, your people on DMR, C4FM, and then nobody talks about Echolink anymore because I think Echolink it's been around for quite some time. But Echolink is still a viable part of the hobby because there are people that live in apartments. There are people that live in condos that can't have antennas outside. So what happens is they can get on their computer and they can use Echolink. So then people say, well, that's not really ham radio. You're talking into a microphone on a computer. Okay. Well, the same people say the same thing about hotspots. It's not ham radio. It's internet. It's cheating. Well, you know what? Here's my thing. Yes, when when the world goes down, the internet goes down. Oh my gosh, there's a zombie apocalypse. It's coming. Everything is going to go down. But for the 8 months that we don't have a hurricane, or the 11 or 12 months and 364 days that we don't have a zombie apocalypse, can we have a little bit of fun? Can we call it a hobby? Can we use different modes to communicate to other people? If it wasn't for me and Echolink or hotspots to this day, I wouldn't be able to talk to a lot of the people I talk to on different reflectors, on D-Star and such. So, it's a way to communicate. It's a way to keep in contact with people. Yes, if the internet goes down, your Echolink, your D-Star, and all that stuff's not going to work over the internet, which is going to happen one day when the internet's going to come down. But regardless of the fact, Echolink, so you can get your app on your phone. You can get now they've had hotspots on Echolink that or for Echolink that they're kind of like hotspots, just like these rugged spots and stuff, where you can connect it and talk into it on Echolink. Now I haven't had one of those yet, haven't played with one, but I've seen them out there. Yeah, Echolink is fine. I used to run an Echolink simplex node, and it was running with a FT2900, FT2800 simplex FM 2-meter EAC radio. I had that interface with a computer, and anybody in Vero Beach, Sebastian area could get on that simplex frequency. They can use it like a repeater to a standard simplex frequency. And I had all kinds of other stuff too. Weather alerts. I had repeater roulette, where you can dial a DTMF and put you on some random repeater around the world. Storm alerts when they come through. All kinds of cool stuff. But that was years ago. That was like 11 or 12 years ago I did that. Anyways, that's, still for people that want to use Echolink. I have it on my phone on the app. People have it on their computer. So it does work. But there's not really a whole lot to discuss with it, other than you can get on there and connect to repeaters that have Echolink, users that are just using computers, or conferences which are like D-Star reflectors, where everybody can congregate on one conference, different repeaters and talk groups and stuff on there. So that is your story on Echolink. I'm trying to see here. Let me move this camera or this microphone. So the video's lagging. So yeah, I'm going to say this video live stream sucked this evening. But it's all a learning experience. I learned myself. I don't know how many people are watching currently. There's 77 watching. Nobody wants to call, and that's fine. Okay, here. So let me... Here's an email. I'm going to read this email aloud for everybody. This comes from Mark. Okay, so I decided to sell something this evening on a website, a couple ham radio related things. And so when I sell stuff, I put on there, PayPal is preferred. Here's my email and QRZ. And usually what happens is people decide to, hey, I'm interested. Do you still have it? Because I don't know if you sold it yet. So a couple people interested. They said, hey, I want to buy this. Okay, we'll send PayPal. Nothing. Hey, you still got that? Yes, I got it. Go ahead and send PayPal. Nothing. Then all of a sudden, everybody wants to send PayPal at one time. So as a good Samaritan, what I did, not a good Samaritan, but a honest business person, what I did was I took the very first payment that came in of the person that wanted it. He sent the payment. He put in the description what he wanted. I got it in PayPal. I printed. The rest of the payments that came in, I refunded. And I put, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you your money back. The unit's already sold. 5 people decided to send payment. The first one that paid gets it. And this is his response right here. He says, I got the PayPal refund, but this is a chicken shit way to do any sort of business. Now I know better. So because I gave him his refund right off the bat, gave it to the first person that made it in, he's not going to buy anything anymore. Oh, well. That's your live email of the day. Wow. Okay. Very good. So that's pretty much it. We're looking at 30 minutes here. Not a whole lot to say on my end. So unless somebody calls, I'm going to hang it up. Other than that, we have there was something else I wanted to discuss. Oh, another one to discuss. So it's come to my attention that my videos of getting on the air, you know, I've had this push. It's a very sore subject for me. I've had this push where a lot of people, they get on, you know, they get on these forums, they get on these YouTube videos, they get on, you know, reflectors whenever I talk to them all day, and they say, the bands are dead. There's no point in us getting on. I'm just going to sell my gear. I'm going to sell my HF radio. It's useless. The bands are dead. And I've been pushing at this for months and months and months. Get on the air, start talking, call CQ. You know, don't just look at it. Don't look at that thing on QRZ or wherever other page that says the bands are dead because it's useless. I've looked at that every day and it says the bands are dead, yet I can turn on my radio and have fun. So what happens is people now are starting to get that notion, and I've noticed some other videos online after that that are saying, get on the air, call CQ. And my push to get people involved is, I guess other people are taking some or how do you put it? They're taking that and they're wanting to spread the word too, and they're doing the same thing. So just for your information, I've made contacts on HF, DX contacts at least once a day this entire week, just to let you know. May have not been much, but I got on there and made DX contacts, so the bands are there. Answer some of the questions. Okay. Out of sync, driving me nuts. So what is one of your questions, Michael, that I've already missed? Let's see. Go back up here, a lot of chatting. Live stream out of sync. Okay, I get it. Live stream's out of sync. This will probably be the last time I do live stream on AT&T's slow internet because they can't provide a fast enough internet. I'm going to have to go take my business elsewhere. Can you use Echolink on your iPhone? Well, yes, you could use Echolink on your iPhone as an app, and you're talking to other people on iPhones or other repeaters. You got to remember, it is requiring you to put your call sign out there because Echolink does interface with repeaters and other you know, you may be talking to a repeater with 10 people in Georgia that are driving around on RF, and you're talking to them from your iPhone. So, yes, you can do that. Wires X. Let's see. Buddy, go ahead. Yeah, buddy. Everybody wants to hear your question, buddy. Let's go. Sorry, buddy. There's a lot of questions coming in. The new Alinco DMR. Okay, I got his question. The new Alinco DMR. Okay, so here's what I know about Alinco. My eye is just killing me. It's dry in here tonight. So, Alinco. Alinco is not one of the most popular vendors of ham radio. They used to have some other things, and I guess the company got sold, and somebody else bought them. And they actually approached me and wanted me to do some videos for them on their terms, and I denied. So I wasn't going to describe the stuff the way they wanted it without my opinion at all, or without me having the ability to vocalize what I think shouldn't be on there. But anyways, so the Alinco DMR, I have not seen it yet. I've not played with it yet. I think they announced that a couple months ago. In fact, while I'm on here, I'm going to look at it right now. What do I think about the Alinco DMR? Well, I know I've had 2 Alinco radios in my life, and the 2 I had in the older days were fine. But why does this radio appeal better than anything else? So let's see. Let's look at it. He got his question, Manuel. It's okay. So the DMR DJ-AX D4. What makes this so special at $189? It's a 5-watt handheld, 400 through 470, 1,000 channel capacity, 250 zone capacity. So it has a lot of the channel capacity that you would expect from a DMR handheld. But what makes it different? I don't know. I haven't had one. It is IP67. IP67 it looks like. I guess I'll have to grab a hold of one of these. I'll have to pick one up, see exactly what I think about it. But I don't get on DMR much. I really don't. I have a DMR smartphone. I have the HD1 Alluance. I don't get on DMR much. With that said, I can't tell if there's a DMR radio that's malfunctioning or if it's a DMR talk group that's malfunctioning. So I can't really rate stuff anymore on DMR because it never works out for me. So I can't say, well, this, I mean, you know, I can't say it's a better radio than another one. I mean, you want my honest opinion? If my honest opinion, there's nothing better than an MD380 or a 390 for DMR. That's the end of the story. There's too many people that have those radios, and they're working fine. Just calling. Hello, you are on the air.
Oh, why, thank you, Eric. Sounds good tonight.
Hello, Patrick.
Hey, listen, these people that, you know, shoot their questions, you got to realize a human is answering them, not a frickin' human computer. And, buddy, go ahead and call up because everyone wants to hear your voice. Unfortunately, you can't use your... Oh, never mind. Anyway.
Well, Patrick, you know, the chat is just pouring in. There's a lot of, I can't keep up with it. You know, this has been one of the hardest things I've ever done on my ham radio channel is to try to run this live stream. I have to say, this is not easy. There's things over here on my tablet I control, things that are not working out right, chats to come in. You know, I thought it was a trial that I would try it, see what happens, but I'm not sure how long it's going to last. But I appreciate you calling in, Patrick.
You know what you need? You need a producer, someone who can give you eye drops when you need them, stuff like that.
It's probably the fan blowing on here. It's dry in here. Got lights beaming everywhere as people can see me, so it is definitely dry on the eyes for sure. Currently outside, 78 degrees, humidity 62, so it's not like we're having a massive cold front where my eyes would be dried out. But yeah, it's the fan. You know, it's like I said, it's a live stream, and there is no holding back. There's no editing. There is only screw-ups to be had. Over?
Right. Hey, you learn from your mistakes. Yeah, that Ari in Finland, I was asking him how his weather was, and I don't know. I need a stylist because...
well, here, I got a question. Stay on, Patrick. I got a question. So, Dengue wants to know, why should I buy an FT2DR over an FT70? It's a great question. The FT70 is more of a it's I think the FT70 is the digital one. Let me just double check because you know there's so many models here. I think FT70 is not the Fusion radio. Okay, so oh yes it is. Right. So the FT70 is. There's not a whole lot of the features that you can do with an FT70 versus this one right here, this FT2DR. Here's the FT2DR. Touchscreen, you can put the camera mic in the side of it, put an SD card for programming, for saving pictures, linking and unlinking on wires X and stuff like that. The FT70 really can't do that. I don't think there's no GPS in it. There is a GPS in the FT2D. There is no camera mic. There is no linking or unlinking the wires X. You can't pull the wires X list and decide you want to connect to the America link or the Finland link or wherever. The FT70 is to get you on Fusion, the digital format, without any of the other bells and whistles. So you save the money to save the bells and whistles, but the FT2DR, you have a lot more functionality, you know, different things you can do with it. The price difference?
What's the price difference?
So $188.90. Well, it depends on where you're looking. I'll check Gigaparts here. They usually have probably the cheapest price. The FT70 currently at Gigaparts is, let me see, T70. FT70 $159.95, and the FT2DR I think is about $379 if I'm not mistaken. So a big difference in price. Oh, yeah. Look who's here. So K6, hold on, K6UDA. Bob, will you please call? Please call and join us. I think I could do a conference here, and yes, I'd like Bob, pick up the phone. Numbers on the screen. I would love to have you on. Yes, FT70 also no APRS. I've pushed this a lot. APRS I think is a big thing that should be in radios. The FT70 does not have APRS because it doesn't have GPS in it. The FT2DR does. So, who knows where this Fusion and Wires X and stuff is going to go. I talked about this last time. There's a lot of places or a lot of areas that aren't doing Fusion, a lot of people that are not going to Fusion because of this or because of that. I think it's a great mode. D-Star is established, but I'm not sure where Fusion is going to be in 5 years or not. I'm not sure. Bob, pick up the phone, K6UDA. Please call in.
Yeah.
I'm just
San Francisco Bob, the chef.
area. Is this him? Is this him? Hold on. This might be.
All right, well, listen. Hey,
All right.
let me go. Before I go, I want to say hello to your beautiful wife, Michelle.
Thank you,
Hi.
Patrick. Let's see who this is here. You are on the air. Hello. Hello.
I am calling.
Oh, it's Bob. My gosh. Hello, Bob. K6UDA.
Hey, what's happening, brother?
I tell you what, man. This has been a disaster unfolding. I couldn't get the phone call audio in. My eyes are dry. The video was lagging. I'm curious. Is it lagging on your end? Was the audio synced up with the video?
Let's see. You are about 5-10 seconds back.
My audio was 5
10
seconds apart from the video.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my
Yeah,
God.
that's normal, dude. That's normal. Don't even worry about it. That is, yeah.
No, I
It
mean,
is,
my
yeah.
lips weren't matching the audio.
It is.
Oh, it is.
It
Okay,
is,
I
'cause
thought.
the whole thing is delayed.
Yeah, the whole thing is delayed. But I was just wondering. Last time I did this, I think it was Tuesday. They're like, "Man, your words are 4 seconds behind your lips moving." I'm like, "Oh, it's terrible." I had to stop the stream, start it over again. But I blame my internet. They're not fast enough.
Yeah. No, dude. I've been there many times.
So what is up, Bob? Everybody should know Bob. This is K6UDA Radio on YouTube. He is another one of the idols that I have that does some very interesting videos on YouTube. And again, I've talked about this with Jason before, and to everybody listening, everybody seeing, there's no competition here. Everybody, somebody asked me, they said, "Well, what do you think about Bob doing this video before you?" Who cares? There's no competition. We're all YouTube people.
No.
We're all hoping you're watching all of us. There's not no competition who's got the video first. I've watched.
I was a little disappointed that you got your open spot too before I did.
Well, you got you're over there in California, so you're like 3 days behind in the shipping,
Yep.
Bob.
Yeah.
I guess they come from
That's
They
true.
come from Estonia to Florida first, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you put your
Yeah.
video? Did you put your open spot video up yet?
I'm working on it right now.
Cool.
I'm. You know me. I gotta be Cecil B. DeMille of ham radio.
I really, I like your video in the past. I think the first time I really laughed real hard was the cobweb video. I thought that was great when you had the ladies putting it together. I thought, man, that is excellent. I don't know anybody that looks that good, except my wife. I mean, my wife is beautiful, but I'm just saying you got a good way of making videos. I watch your videos a lot, so you
Cool, thank you.
you got
Thank you.
you got a wide array of how you do it, and I don't have the very sophisticated production stuff that the other guys have on YouTube, so I wish I had half the quality that you have.
Dude, look at you. You got 35,000 people are
Yeah.
subscribed to you.
Well,
That is awesome.
I mean,
That is awesome,
right
dude.
now the statistics are 2 million minutes watched per month. Per 28 days, there's 2 million minutes watched and over 2,600 new subscribers.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people watching my ugly face. I gotta say.
I hear you. I tell you, they ain't watching for my face. That's for sure. They all keep waiting for Wendy or Danielle or whoever else I might have on.
So I might have missed a video. When's the last video you've had Danielle on? Has it been a while?
It's been a while. That's my daughter, and she's a rising star in the company that she's with.
Did you say that's your daughter?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
That's how that whole thing started.
That is cool. Did not know that. And that was the original one. She was in the video with the Heil headset.
Yes.
And Wendy was the one on the bus.
Wendy was on the bus.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
That's cool. So she's more popular than you are then.
Oh, by far. Every time I put a girl on this show, it blows up. It goes crazy. I think when I did when I did the one, what does your wife really think of your of your ham shack?
Uh-huh.
That I had put that. That was actually my last video that got put on QRZ, and it was blowing up. It had 25,000 hits in 24 hours.
Wow.
On QRZ, and all of a sudden some gal complained about it, and Fred had to pull it, and he said, I can't. You're too edgy. I can't put you on anymore.
Wow. You know, I brought this up earlier because on this live stream, somebody asked, they said, you know, I've had this question for a while now, and they said, why did you stop posting videos on QRZ? And the answer was, I guess I don't cater to those people. A lot of them have been doing radio way before I have, and they don't want to hear anything I have to say, and it's just it's just a bunch of negative stuff. And I thought, well, hey, I'm not welcome here. See you later. I just stopped posting videos. Then they're like, hey, we need your videos up here. Well, I don't belong there, I guess, you know. I'm a YouTube guy, not a QRZ guy, but that's just me. And then I noticed there's a couple other guys that don't post there anymore, so I don't know if that's a a going thing or if it was me, you know.
Yeah, I think it got real popular, you know, because it's a high traffic website. But yeah, like you said, it's full of guys that you know, they know everything, and you're always wrong. No matter what you say or do.
And I'm the first one to admit that I learn a lot from my subscribers, believe it or not. You know, sometimes I'll do something, and these guys, let me tell you what, when you got an audience like this, man, they'll pick out everything. You know, like the one guy that commented made me laugh today. I had a video, and I was like, look, there's not a cloud in the sky today. Somebody posted, hey, look, there's a cloud at 17 seconds. It was like 4,000 miles away, and he saw the cloud, you know. I was like, you guys notice everything. But the things that I may be wrong on, they always, I learn from them in the comments. But it just seemed that there was nothing constructive in the videos on QRZ. It was always, this isn't news, take your videos and get out of here. You're trying to monetize and make money. Okay, whatever. So I just won't post here anymore, you know. I guess because it's a news section, but I'm just trying to spread the word. That's all I'm really doing, you know, just trying to
That's kind of what I was trying to do too.
Exactly.
And you know what? So we do it on our own, and it's working. And you know what? Hey, I'm looking on the chat side here, and I want to say hey to Patrick, hey to Chris.
I told you you're popular, man.
Jovan, Orsadol.
You know what? You
guys rock.
You know what we need to do? We need to. You know, I'm very disappointed at Jason from Ham Radio 2.0. I told him, I said, you better call in tonight. He's like, oh, I'm out at the deer range or wherever. I said, man, I didn't know Bob would be calling in, but he'd be upset if he wasn't here in the call. So, have you decided?
Awesome.
Have you decided?
And there's 90 guys watching. There's 90 people watching. Dude, this is awesome.
Well, you're killing it. That's not. I mean, I figure 34,000 people. Why is there 90 people watching? But then again, it cycles. When you look at the analytics after, there's like 900 people because there was 70 at one time, but 10 may have left and 10 joined. So, you know, I guess it counts them all as individual views or, you know, people. But like I said, I tried this last time, you know, and I figured because sometimes I can't come up with enough material myself. So I figured I'd give the opportunity to people to call in and let them call in and just talk about whatever, you know, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Whatever. I mean, it's, you know.
And it gives you ideas for new videos too. I mean, I love it because you guys that are out there using this stuff, it gives guys like us the ideas to make a new video. I mean, I got guys tossing me ideas right now that are like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I mean,
and I'm learning stuff.
yeah, I mean, there's like Jason said again. He said, there's if you have an open spot video, I have an open spot video, and he's got an open spot video. I'm sure we're all hoping that everybody's watching all three of our videos. And my opinion is, watch mine, watch yours, watch whoever, and then make your own assumption on what you want. Don't come to me and think that my video is the best and then not go to their videos, because you may offer a whole different perspective on it than I do, and that may turn them on. They may say, well, Eric, I liked it until Bob showed this. Well, boom, I missed something, you picked it up. Or you have a way of showing it, and maybe they like your way better, and maybe they thought, well, you didn't do it for me, Eric, but he did. But at least they got enough information from everybody. That's the way I look at it,
There you go.
There
you go.
That's the way it happens. But,
okay. Ham 48, let's talk radio. So
is that one of your slogans?
No, that's what he said.
I know, but I thought that's
Ham 48. Let's talk radio.
I thought that's what you usually said. Let's talk radio. That might not be you then. Yeah,
that ain't me.
If everybody doesn't know, again, go to YouTube, type in K6UDA radio. You'll see him pop up there. That's who's on the phone right now. It's kind of like what I got to do for people like this? I got to get a special hotline number, and that'll be only for you. So when you call in, I can see your pop up with your face. You get the exclusive hotline. That's what I got to do for the famous people.
Now we need Skype, or we need FaceTime or something.
Well, and again, if you want to, I was talking to Jason brought it up to me, and he was wanting to do something together, and I'm pretty sure we could fit three of our faces on a screen. And maybe I have to have Jason or you figure out a better way to do it than I can do it, because I think that you can't use Skype a lot now. It's something to do with the coding in Skype that all these programs won't capture the video on a live stream or something like this, and they call it something in the sandbox in the back-end coding of Skype as of like May or June release. It won't capture Skype.
Okay.
So I bought the software. It was like $100-something. It wouldn't capture Skype. And I emailed them. They're like, yep, it's not us. It's Skype. I had to get a refund. But then Jason said he bought some software that was worth a lot more, and he says he can do it. So maybe he can, host it and get all the
Maybe he can hook us up.
We could just get on there on his behalf and talk about whatever,
we could be the new Ham Nation. We can kill them.
Yeah,
we can kill them old guys.
Yeah, and I watched one of his videos the other day. I didn't realize that they're not a YouTube people. They are a Twitch or a Twit live stream. They just put it on YouTube for others to watch. They're actually bigger on other platforms than YouTube. I didn't know that. I figured they were just on YouTube, but apparently they're popular on. They got their own TV shows and everything that they just happen to put it on YouTube. But very cool to have you on here, Bob.
Hey, thank you. And from IK04, K6UDA, the most hated man in ham radio? Maybe I am.
Now that I know was on one of your videos.
Yeah, that was on one of my videos. That was actually, and I was doing a bit on a guy on 10 meters, actually when 10 meters was still working. And he used to basically flood, what was it, 28.425.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know who that is. That is that is Kilo Charlie 4 Tango Victor Zulu. That is Todd.
Tango Victor Zulu.
Yeah, Kilo India 4 Tango Victor Zulu. That is, we call him down in Florida. We call him the 10-meter beacon. So whenever you just go to 425. If you hear him out there, don't bother calling because he's not going to call back to you. But I've talked to him once or twice, and he'll either tell you okay, or if you don't have a 1010 number, get lost. But he's the beacon. He's always on there.
And he got kicked out of 1010.
Really?
Because he kept doing that thing, but he still does it. Well, I don't know if he's doing it now. Maybe he found a new hobby.
Well, the thing that aggravated me a little bit, and again, I could let anybody do whatever they want, but what turned me off, is a better word, is it was all push button. He'd push the button, it would CQ. He'd push the button to respond, and here's your report. Okay, I'm going to pass it to my wife. And he pushed button number 3. It's his wife's recording. Push it number 4. That's her sign off 7-3. And I'm like, there was no human interaction there at all. It was kind of like it was kind of like he was back doing a crossword like this. Oh, there's somebody. Push the button, just do the crossword puzzle. But that's what he wants to do. I guess that's what he wants to do.
Hey, that's his end of the hobby.
Hey, it's our hobby. We can do what we want, right?
That is what's so beautiful about this hobby. There is a million different directions that we can all go. And I just put a video up yesterday, and it was about DMR, D-Star, and Infusion Radio. And it's very weird because I'm looking at your face on the screen, and you're talking, and so am I.
Yeah.
But anyway, I get a lot of comments from guys that go, oh, those three, that sounds like mud. Analog is better. I'm not going to do that crap. That stuff is garbage. Well, you know what? That's fine. That's great. You do your thing. Don't disrespect the guys that either don't have an HF set up at home or can't get on HF for whatever reason. They're a tech at the time or whatever. Hey, we all started somewhere. And my whole deal is power to the new guys.
Well, and you're exactly right, and I agree with that. And by the way, if you didn't know, that we all started somewhere. I started in CB when I was 9, but Patrick here on the chat, he's the one that got me started in ham radio. He's the one that turned me on to it all. But my theory was that when these DVAPs and stuff first come out, remember the DV4 Mini, and it was a little stick,
yep.
And then you had the DVAP, and it was like a big deal. And I hated hotspots in the beginning. The DV Mega came out. I said that I was totally against it. I said you can take your hotspot, your wet spot, your dry spot, whatever, and throw it in the garbage because it's not ham radio. But then I thought, you know what? With me driving and working and stuff, there'd be no way to talk to anybody. I mean, we've talked before on 30 Charlie. There'd be no way to communicate with you unless I was in range of the local repeaters. So the hotspot keeps me busy, keeps me in contact. Now, what I don't like is the people that get on and they leave comments and they say, why should I even bother getting a general? Why should I learn how to build an antenna? I can use a DVAP, I can work the world, and I never have to touch a radio. And I'm thinking, but that is the wrong way to look at it because, I look at it like it's just an addition to keep me busy or to entertain me here or there. But some people look at it like, well, I don't need to study. I just need to get my license. I don't have to learn to build an antenna. I don't have to buy a D-Star radio. I just do it with my space bar on the keyboard and use radio that way. But that is what turns me off. But if that's what he wants to do, fine. But I encourage him to go learn how to build dipoles, go burn out radios, play with something, make an antenna that's not supposed to work the world on DX, and then use that, in your spare time as a supplement to our advanced hobby, That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
And I do too, but you know what? For whatever reason, there's a lot of guys that get in and they don't want to study, or maybe they didn't have an easy time passing the tech. They don't have that technical background. I didn't really have a technical background. All the law stuff for me on the tests, that was easy. That was like a no-brainer for me, all the regulations, because I lived that stuff my entire life. The technical stuff was a big challenge for me, but I'll tell you, I got that tech license, and I got on 10 meters. And the first time I talked to a couple of guys in Florida, I was like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life."
Yep.
And it just made me want to go get a general, and then I got shamed into an extra.
And I haven't even got my extra yet, just because I'm just waiting until I get absolutely bored and fed up with the hobby and want something. I'll go get my extra and start over with that little extra slice of 40 and 20, which is the only real reason I want it. But I even a tech on 10 meters and 6 meters, that's my favorite band on 10 meters because I did the same thing. I've worked more DX on 10 meters than I have on any other band, and 6 meters I could have pileups on 6 meters. And even the tech that's just getting their license, you have plenty of room, plenty of things to do on 10 meters, whether it be AM or FM repeaters or just phone, CW, sideband, slow scan TV, digital, all kinds of stuff on 10 and then 6 meters as well, and 2 and 440 with a tech license that they don't need to rush right away to get a general. A lot of people make them feel, oh, you're just a tech. You can't do nothing with a tech. No, I don't think so. You can work a lot of DX on a tech license.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what. I made we don't have 6-meter openings here. I mean, it almost never happens. And about 2 months ago, there was a 6-meter opening, and I made my first 6-meter DX contacts like 2 months ago. I tell you what, I was like a kid in a candy store. That was great.
Were you one of those guys saying? Were you one of those guys saying 6 hasn't been open in 15 years?
No, because I haven't been a ham for 15 years.
Well, there's been a lot of people, they accused me of using magic. They're like, because I put a few videos up there, and I mean, I've had pileups in an hour. I've knocked out 200 contacts, and 6 is fast.
Mm-hmm.
It comes and goes. You got to hit it right now and leave. And I love every year I'm on 6 meter. This year I was on 6 meters from April till about September before it died. And everybody was like, "What do you mean? I haven't had 6 meters open up in my area in 15 years." But it's been there, and it was great this year. And there's a lot. I got a 4-element beam, but you don't need that. You could just do it with a simple wire antenna or a loop or whatever, and get on 6.
I was doing it on my hex beam.
Yeah. It's 6 has been great this year, and it was great last year, and it was great the year before that. And 6-meter AM is a challenge. When you find an AM station on 50.4, get on there and check that out. I was talking to some guy who's using an 80-year-old rig or whatever, Gon set, whatever it was, boat anchor. I probably didn't even know any first thing about it, but he sounded great on AM on 6 meters. He's like, nobody gets on AM. They're all on FT8 and JS8 call, and I've seen that already pop up in the chat here. People are asking about it. That's that's a whole nother subject I can get into, but if they want to use it, let them use it. I'm not going to shun you on it. Some people want to use only FT8.
I totally agree. Damn, I'm costing you viewers right now. You're down to 75.
Oh,
we got to bump this up. So let's have this war here. I heard you talking about the FT2, and I bought the FT70. Let's have this war, my friend.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I have an international call from area code 44. I'm not sure what country that's from, but I can't merge them in a conference.
Put me on hold. I don't care.
Well, I don't know how to do that either.
It's probably a telemarketer.
Boy, that's been coming in a lot. If he calls next time, I will dump your call and get his. But I didn't recognize that number. That must be from. That'd be the first DX phone call that I've ever had. But you said you want to have a war with what now?
The FT2 versus the FT70.
What about it?
You're a big fan of your FT2.
I love it. Love the radio.
And I'm a big fan of my FT70.
Why don't you like the FT2?
Okay. When I went to NVCon, I talked to the Yaesu guys, and they were great salesmen, by the way, because they talked me into it. I was very intrigued by it. I loved the touch screen. I loved the whole concept of that radio. And my friend Jeff, AK60K, he was up there. He was he fixes those old Kenwood 940s.
Here, listen, wait, hold on 1 second. This UK calling. Let me answer the UK.
Okay.
Call back in.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Hello, you are live. Hello.
G0PL, G0MEJ, calling for United Kingdom.
United Kingdom. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. How are you?
All right. What's your call again?
KG0PL.
KG0PL.
UK, US call, but my UK call is G0MEJ. Over.
Well, I think I've talked to you before on D-Star, haven't I?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
There's not that many G0 stations that I get talking with me, so I remembered a few of them. But well, I hope I'm not costing you money calling all the way over there from the UK.
No, I do it by Skype.
Ah, gotcha. Well, thank you for calling in.
If you want to note this down, if you want to note my phone number down, you can 970.
Oh, hold on. You're putting that live on the air, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because everybody's going to be calling you now. What is it?
I'll just call you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay, 970.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 372.
Uh-huh.
5215. And it's my birthday today as well.
Well, happy everybody. Hey, listen, I want everybody in the chat right now, the 72 people watching, to wish him a happy birthday in the UK. On behalf of the Ham Radio Concepts live stream, happy birthday, my friend. Do you want to tell us how old you are?
Your report's 5 and 6. Get it?
Fine business, Roger.
You know that in the UK we celebrate Bonfire Night?
What is it?
You don't know. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder for treason and plot. In 1605, a guy called Guy de Fawkes tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, King James I. That's why we celebrate it.
Really? And that's
Yes.
November 5th.
The 5th of November.
Right.
Excuse me, we say number first, then...
See, I'm learning every day. The 5th of November. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Well,
Which is, because you are in tomorrow. Is tomorrow a good day? Am I going to have a good day tomorrow?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you.
You can put me live.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go on. Go on, ask a question. Why have I got an American call sign and why have I got a UK call sign? Probably.
that was almost, yep, that you pulled it right out of my, I was watching the same thing. Look at all your happy birthday wishes in the chat. But yes, that was my question. Teach me something about that.
Well, I've never sat in front of the continental United States, but I was very lucky that we have a U.S. military base here in northern England. My UK QTH is Barrowing Furness in the south, in the county of Cumbria. What about 100 miles north of the city of Liverpool? And Grid Square is IO84 Japan Charlie. It was very, very few years ago, I was happy to go and do my ham test on a military base, which was part of your sovereign country. So that's how I got my American license.
Interesting.
Because at the time I was only a VHF license. You said about tech license you have now in the States.
Right.
I was only allowed to operate from 144 to microwave frequencies. I didn't have the code test. The code test over here was the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog's back,
Right.
sending and receiving.
Right.
That was the thing. So when I went to what we call radio rallies over here, you call them Hamfest, there was a Darley Amateur Radio Club, which still exists, but they don't meet the club on site on the military base anymore for security reasons. And I sat my novice technician general, and then reciprocated my general class license for my UK full. So that is how I've got it.
So what is what are the two call signs again? So I can remember.
KG0PL.
Right.
Yeah. And my UK call is Golf 0 Mike Echo Juliet. I'm using headphones, by the way, and I'm using a professional microphone. I've cut the YouTube link off, so that we're just on a private call here.
Right. Yeah, because people try to listen on a delay, and it confuses them. So can you double your points using two call signs in a contest?
Well, you could do. No, I'm not allowed to use my US call in the UK.
Right.
Because I've already got a UK call sign because it's a reciprocal of my US call, so I have to keep my US license up to date.
Right. Well, that is cool. Well, I can't change my call sign ever again because everybody knows KJ4YZI. So even if I get an extra, I wish I had a smaller call sign or a shorter one, like a 2x1 or 2x2, whatever, or what is it? Yeah. 1x2. But it's too late for that now because everything I have says,
Yeah, but I'm trying to get into digital voice, but I have hearing loss, and I find. Been listening to my friends keep passing. My U.S. address is in Fort Collins, Colorado, and he's a ham as well. Yeah, he's 0RX, and he keeps pestering me to get into D-Star and everything. I said, well, I'm quite happy using Echolink on my computer. I find I don't need to spend any money.
Yeah, we were just talking about that with Echolink, and if you're using Echolink with that mic you're on right now, it sounds exceptional. I got to say, your audio sounds really good.
Well, I do.
Through the
did
computer.
broadcasting anyway. Yeah,
but
I've got broadcast.
yeah, Echolink is is another way for people to get on, and there's a lot of people that I wouldn't be able to talk to if they weren't on Echolink, being that they're in a condo or wherever. I mean, I could get, if I was in an airport flying to Dayton Hamvention or Hamvention, if I want to get on a radio and chat with somebody, the only way I'm going to do it is on Echolink. So I dial it up on my phone, and I get on there for a little while as I have a layover, because if you popped up a, ICOM 7300 in the middle of the airport, you'd probably look, pretty suspicious. But, Echolink is a viable way for people to get on the radio when they can't, any other means.
Well, if you want to listen to my dulcet tones for 2 hours, go to the QSO radio show and download Nigel P. Lawrence, KG0PL, Ted Randall's. I did a 2-hour off-the-cuff thing about the differences between UK and US. Over here, we're not allowed to run we're only allowed to run 400 watts. You can get a kilowatt license, but you've got to go for the regular Ofcom pleading the reason why you want it. Maybe if you want to do Earth Moon bounce EME, you can apply, but it's not so easy to get such license. So we're only allowed to run 400 watts, and the average UK amateur over here only runs wire antenna. I only live in a typical terraced townhouse, as you've got. We call them terrace houses. And my HF wire is down at the moment, but I'm very limited, and I've got a cobweb in my loft, which is the original cobweb aerial, not the one I managed to actually speak to the designer and builder of G3 TBW, Steve Webb. He lives in North Yorkshire.
Right.
So I've actually spoke to him at a radio rally, Hamfest, years and years ago. So there's nothing new.
Yeah, I was just watching. What is your first name again?
Nigel, November, India Golf Echo Lima.
I was just watching a video on from Callum, if you know Callum, DX Commander.
Yes.
Over there in the UK, and he was saying the same thing, that he was talking to the Web, the original creator of the cobweb.
Webb.
And I think he talked to him on 80 meters, but a lot of people, I didn't know originally that the MFJ and stuff was a not maybe a knockoff or a replicated version. I didn't realize, in the beginning, that there was a original one.
Yeah, I got the original one in the loft, but it needs repairing before I could put it outside.
Yeah.
And ideally, you need it at 10 meters high for 20 meters.
Right. Well, yeah, and mine, believe it or not, I've had mine up on a tripod, a little MFJ tripod, and you wouldn't believe the contacts.
I watch videos.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the contacts I made with it just on that tripod in the backyard. If that camera was flipped 180 degrees right now, you'd see it out there on the tripod if it was daytime. And that's where I left it, because I figured, well, I don't have, with the beams up here and the vertical that way, I don't have enough room to put it up. So I'm going to probably put that back in the box and save it for when I can get it up on a tower one day or something and really get it up there in the air, But yeah,
and portable. Not portable, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you would on a 33-foot pole, because that's when Steve Webb talked about it. I read his articles about it, and he said that was its optimal height. We're getting it, because obviously typical, we are very, over here in the UK, the planning permission is very, very tight. That's why my wire dipole was kept below the roof line discreetly. So we have to have planning permission. That is why a lot of amateurs over here don't have beams and towers. They just don't. They just sling it around the top of the chimney pot and around, and that's it. That's why it's very hard to hear us. 100 watts and a wire.
Yeah,
so,
well, hey,
there you go.
It makes it more challenging that way. And I think VK over there, Australia, they have a power limitation and restriction on height and stuff, don't they?
I'm not so sure. I used to talk to a regular. I used to talk to his now silent key VK2 Mike Juliet, and we were doing TCIP with doing it with packet radio, but not with the old packet radio. But we were using the IP way of talking years ago, and again, he was restricted. He said he was restricted with his height, with his aerials as well. So we say aerials, we don't say antennas. And we don't say, we say, when your call sign, we say YZI.
Right. So let's see. We call it Z. We say the number before the month in UK, and we don't call them antennas. We call them aerials. See, I've learned 3 things on this phone call today. Probably more than that, but and I learned the 2 call signs that you have, and how you have double the contest points than everybody else. But
it can get confusing. I always say my UK calls go make everyone jealous. Think about it. I've got multiple call signs.
Yeah, and I don't have anything crazy or catchy on mine. KJ4YZI. I'll award a $100 gift certificate to anybody that comes up with something that means something for KJ4YZI. And the only one that I've ever had recommended to me was KJ4 Young Zesty Italian, and I thought that's kind of weird, you know. but
young independent Italian, or young independent person or something like that. But no, we say zebra, and we don't say Z, we say Z.
Right. QR. Well, what's funny is when I
QRZ.
But when it's funny is I don't think anybody in the U.S. says QRZ. They say QRZ.
Yeah, that's the way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so you don't have to live in the UK to say QRZ. That's how I call the website too, QRZ.com. You know.
That's just said. And the other thing, there's certain non-ferrous metals. You're the only country in Canada. Canada's a bit split me both ways. That we call aluminium.
Aluminium. Yep. And don't you put a U in the word color?
Yes.
You guys are all a bunch of crazy over there.
Well, there you go. Well, as I said, we give you the language, you messed it up.
Exactly. Well, my eyes are drying out here. Zanzibar is another Tony Turtle there in the thing. I've used that before, and you know, here's a good topic on a video in the future. I did that once. I was trying to get this guy, and he was in a mobile in I don't know where he was, Afghanistan, wherever he was, way out there. He was in a mobile, and I just couldn't pull him up, and he couldn't pull me out, and I was saying Yankee, Zanzibar, India. And man, after that contact, I had about 3 people that tore me apart. You don't use your own phonetics. It's Yankee, Zulu, India. I said, okay, well, I was just trying to spell it out. He couldn't get Yankee, Zulu, India, so I used the word Zanzibar. And man, they just come out of the woodwork. You know, oh yeah, you don't make up your own words, and it was just it was one of those things. But yeah, I've used that word before, Zanzibar, also for Z. I don't know where. It may not be correct, whatever. But I mean, I've heard all kinds of.
What's the same with my UK call? If I use Mike Echo Juliet, it doesn't always come out. So I say Mexico, Ecuador, Japan. And
that's an interesting way of doing it.
Using the countries by doing that. So, especially if you speak to someone in South America. But there you go. Yeah. Drop me a line. I'm good at QRZ. So I like watching your videos. And please drop me information about the latest video about the digital networks. I don't want to spend a lot of money on digital voice radio. I'd rather go down the All-Star route because I've got our existing gear lying around. And do I need it? I've got a Raspberry Pi. Don't need anything else. A couple of radios. Don't need it. Spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I don't see the justification of spending lots of dollars or British pounds on a radio that's going to sit there and not do anything. And as I said, I have no repeaters. I've got one DMR repeater across the water from me. But my opinion of DMR is, yes, it's a good system, but it wasn't designed for amateur radio use. And if you want to try and talk to your friends in Colorado, then I've used TeamSpeak. People say, "Oh, that's not proper amateur radio," or Dello.
IRN, International Radio Network on TeamSpeak. You're talking about?
Yeah. And I've tried to tell my friend you can get to one of the state gateways by dialing this number in, this code number, and from your D-Star radio or from your hotspot, you can get into Alabama link, and you can talk to me that way and go into a private room. And he couldn't get it. He just couldn't get the nows that you were dialing numbers.
Yeah, that's one of the things with the open spot that I really don't care for is that I can't pull up a list on the screen with the America link and all that. You got to dial at DTMF numbers, but the Pi-Star you could do it a little bit differently, you know. I mean, I like the digital modes. You know, there's a whole bunch of people to talk to, and there's some people don't want to invest in it. Some people don't want to do it. You know, they're against digital, but unfortunately we have no choice. That's the way a lot of this is going. You know. And there's nothing you can say, and there's nothing I can say that's going to change the world's mind. You know, they're going to go for what they want to go to. But I have fun with it. It's different. But I always try. I always get on and tell people, do not forget your analog repeaters. That's where we met everybody. That's where everybody learned about radio 10, 15 years ago. That's how I met a lot of the locals, was on the analog machine, and to let it go out like I never knew it existed, and let it sit there dormant. Nobody's on there. That's kind of sad, because then there's new people that get in the hobby and they don't know about this digital, and they get on a repeater book or a website or something. They find their nearest VHF or UHF analog repeater, and there's nobody there.
That's wrong. It should be to answer your calls anyway. Anyway, I should get to bed, and +44, by the way, is United Kingdom, the international dialing code, by the way.
That's 5 things I learned today.
So you'll know if I call you again.
Exactly.
I've got an international phone call coming through. So, and obviously +49 Germany. That's how it works. So check me out at qrz.com. I will drop you an email back. And I'll give you, obviously you're broadcasting this live. It's going out on the YouTube, I believe. Mm-hmm.
What was the site again that put it out there? The site that you did you said you had the site that you have. Put that information out there.
QSO radio show, right?
All right.
And look up for my name, Nigel P. Lawrence, on the KG0PL. You can download it from the website. You can download it from iTunes. I did it a few years ago, and it's a 2-hour off-the-cuff interview with Ted Randall.
Cool. Well, I'll check that out, too, and hopefully everybody else checks that out as well.
And again, I did it on open source because I'm talking to you on a Linux box here. I don't use proprietary software. So, and a professional studio microphone as well. So that's what we do. So there we go. Hello, the rest of the world, and the thing there. Anyway, we're going to tonight. We're going at 6 o'clock, 1800 GMT or Universal World Time. My wife and I are going for our bonfire supper, which will be like hot dogs, ginger cake, and sandwiches, and fireworks on a bonfire.
Cool. Well, enjoy it. Have a good time there, and thank you for calling, Nigel.
Okay. Well, just the call signs there: KG0PL and G0MEJ. And by the way, the PL and is my middle name and my last name. So that was not a vanity call sign, by the way, but I want to keep it.
Cool. Don't let it go.
All right then, sir. Well, nice to hear you, and nice to get through. So next time on the +44, it's somebody calling from the United Kingdom.
And you were the very first UK call, so thanks for calling in. And 7-3, sir.
7-3. Good luck. 7-3.
All right, bye. Well, let's take another one here. Let's see who this is. This looks like a California call, California area code. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Howdy.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. This is Jacob, KC1HTS.
KC1HTS. Gotta get that.
Yeah,
back
I saw you had this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a question. I have a lot of people always asking me, why do you do what you do? and I find that hard to answer. Why do I participate in amateur radio?
That's
what do I?
Okay. So that first off, okay. So did you see my video that I put up about a year ago? This is ham radio, showing all the little things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've watched pretty much all of them, but it's a hard question to answer. People
Yeah, I know. Wow, I've never had anybody ask me that. I mean, I've had plenty of people ask me the same thing. Why don't I do it or whatever? Why do I do it? It's kind of like, and I had a whole scenario planned out in a sentence, and now it's not coming to my mind here. But it's kind of like, and I'm hoping that in the answer that I come up with here with you in the next couple minutes, somebody can put out in the chat and throw their 2 cents in on why we do it. It's something that we are privileged with. It's the first question I'd ask them is, can you do it? Can you talk to people around the world using no other means of communication but radio? And most of the time they're like, well, no, but I could pick up a cell phone. Yeah, okay, well,
absolutely. That's always the answer I get is, well, I have a cell phone, and they don't get that. Well, I don't have to tunnel all my stuff through fiber and across the world. I'm just
right. So fiber
jump in my truck.
Fiber gets cut, internet goes down, satellite goes down, cell phones go down, but radio is always there. It's why do we do it? I mean, I guess the definition or the real motive behind amateur radio is to promote the health and well-being of life and property and whatever, in a case of disaster, the zombie apocalypse or the hurricane. I mean, look, just that's one thing you could tell them. You say, look at what happened with Hurricane Matthew here in Florida. It was all over the news, and yet nobody gets the credit they deserve. It was all over the news. The news stories loved going in there with those cameras saying, there's nothing here, but the ham radio operators had communication in and out of that place. Yeah, well, they should have had a lot more recognition up there because they were using it like a story, like it was something to talk about because they were in there on the front lines and everything was gone watching the ham radio operators do that. But really, those ham radio operators were the only information and only source in and out of that place until they started getting communications back up. You can't do that with anything else. You can't do it with internet, can't do it with fiber, can't do it with satellite. The amateur radio is for emergency, but at the same time, like I said, it's not always a gloom and doom thing. Can we have fun with this hobby? Can we, why do you do it? Well, yeah, we don't have a hurricane right now. My house isn't burning down and there's not zombies knocking at my door. So can I use it for fun? Can I learn from it, meet other people, find their interests, and find how to grow my own knowledge on what works, what doesn't work, how to make things out of supplies that are in my closet or in my I've made some antennas out of some pretty crazy stuff. Antennas that shouldn't have worked. I mean, I had a video that Jan come up with the tape measure, the tape measure, and then I talked to Chili on 10 meters with a bicycle rim. We were going to load up a shopping cart, but you don't find a shopping cart in everybody's backyard or garage. But the point is, we learned from that on what will work, what won't work, how to do it, and then we talked across the world on it. But the person asking you that says, I got a cell phone, has no idea how the cell phone works, has no idea what's going to happen when the cell phone goes down. They're the first ones to panic. They're the first ones to panic. I almost, without life and property being damaged and life threatened, I almost encourage and wait for everything to go down so I can practice my skills or however I need to, like my hurricane video I showed. In the hurricane video, look, there it went. Cell phones went down exactly like I said it was going to happen. And my wife's like, wow, if it wasn't for ham radio, we would have no. And I was talking to people at shelters locally. I was talking to people here and there, but nobody else was, So, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons on why. And you can see in the chat now, they're all starting to come up. What makes us human? What does this say? What makes us human? I can't read it. Tick, who knows why we do things? I don't know. But
absolutely, that was.
When all else fails, ham radio is there. Ham radio is the end.
I tell you what, I got some weird looks when I was doing some of that slow scan from the ISS last weekend. I was standing in the back of my truck holding a home built antenna
Yep.
And
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. What's crazier than that is when you're at a public park. When you're at a public park where the area is somewhat wealthy, okay, and you're out there in my fox hunt video, we were out there with the homemade antennas looking for things in bushes and stuff, and nobody, not one person picked up on what we were doing. They're like, "What in God's name is in your hand, and what are you doing?" This one's shoveling her kids back in the car. Go away, the crazies are here, And we're out there with headphones and pointed Yagi antennas, and we're all over the park, and these people are freaking out. That is how you get attention.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your answer to that. I really appreciate that. That was a good one.
Well, no problem. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to show you this right here. This is your final answer. My wife just delivered this here under the green screen. What does it say? You ran out of gas one day, and your cell phone was dead. Ham helped you. That's how I met John Frankie, KM4MCK. So I was getting ready to leave for work. I worked late that night, and I'm not out of, in Vero Beach. I'm not too far from everywhere, but there wasn't anybody around. All the businesses were closed and everything, right where I was at. So I got on the radio and I said, let's see. And there was one guy that was working with me, but he didn't have his vehicle. His wife picks him up. He's like, I can't help you. So I called out there and I'm like, KJ4YZI for some gas. And John Frankie comes back. That's how I met him. He says, yeah, this is KM4MCK. Where are you at? I'm kind of right down the road. That was a local repeater. And this guy, he looked at me. He's like, no way. I'm like, yeah. That's what happened. John showed up 10 minutes later with 2 gas cans. He's filling it. He's like, I'll follow you to the gas station, and make sure you get there and stuff. And that's how I met John. So the next day, everybody that was making fun of me at work, that always used to make fun of me, good friends of mine with my antennas everywhere. Oh, yeah, he's calling ET again. He's like, man, this is no bullshit. He's like, this guy called for gas and somebody showed up 10 minutes later. He's like, it was amazing. And that's what the wife just brought in. I even forgot that story, but she's watching in the other room. But yeah, tell that to your friends. That's how I got gas, and I met somebody in the process.
Definitely. Thank you for the answer. And if I could, I'd like to throw a shout out to my Elmer, W1MCT. That dude is awesome.
W1MCT. And what's his name?
Oh, oof. I'd have to. I've only called him by his name.
I didn't want to put.
Or by his call sign. That's terrible.
I don't want to. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but W1MCT. My Elmer is actually watching in the chat as well, and the one that got me started in all of it. But Elmer is, if you could do one thing for the hobby, Elmer somebody else. If you meet somebody, if you hear that, if you hear that new guy on the repeater, and it sounds like he's afraid to call or he's not really doesn't know the lingo. Don't ignore him. Get out there and help him and at least make contact with him. And you don't even have to do it over the air and tell him, hey, you're saying this wrong. Just be there to talk with him and get him more comfortable and be an elbow to somebody else. That's what I try to tell everybody. That's that's
cool beans.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thanks to you.
I appreciate you calling.
That was cool. Thanks to you and W1MCT. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. And thanks.
Bye.
Hey, and you're the first shout out ever on my live stream call-in. How do you like that? I've never had a shout.
Oh, he deserves it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a good man.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling. 7-3.
You as well. 7-3.
That's cool. So we had a couple interesting phone calls here. A couple phone calls that had a little bit of meaning to them. We had my eye is just so dry. But anyways, let's see who this is. We'll take this one here. Wish I had something to wipe my eye out. Hello, you are on the air. Hello.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling. 7-3.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, it's you.
K6 UDA.
It's you. Well, okay. I was gonna say, turn the radio down. I can hear it. You know what's terrible is I've been on here for an hour and a half this time, and I didn't know I'd go this long. I kind of ran out of steam. A couple calls that were cool people to talk to. I honestly, I can't keep up with the chat. It's just coming in too fast. So I'm going to appoint you as the person to keep that chat rolling, Bob.
I will keep that chat rolling when I'm not on the phone here. It's kind of hard to talk and type. I get it. And you know what I did when I did a couple of these live shows is I had a couple of radios going. I had a DMR radio going and a D-Star radio. and actually took a few calls on the air and on YouTube.
Yeah, and
live.
I was warned about that, though, that using the radio to incorporate with the show that's of monetary gain can be against the FCC rules. That's why I didn't do that.
Huh, well, okay.
And I was going to do, because I've already had people asking, wow, why don't you take check-ins on a unused reflector on D-Star or DMR or something? And I thought, that's a great idea. And somebody who is, can't tell you who they are, but they're in the biz, and they're like, don't do that. I'm like, okay, not a problem. It wasn't against them or anything. They just said, for your best interest, not a good idea to use radio and put this over radio, what you're doing. I said, okay. That makes sense,
Okay.
Some kind of statute,
All right,
some kind of statute for the, the gain versus, using a radio for gain. Because typically people can donate in the chat. The video can make money based on clicks, so therefore you're using it for monetary gain. So that's why I didn't do that.
Hey, okay.
But but if you want to do it, I will be more than happy to call in on my radio to your show. I have no problem doing that.
My internet sucks so bad it's almost painful to do a live show.
Let me guess, you got AT&T.
Oh my God! How did you guess?
Because not only did I see that modem in the back, I used to your video. I used to work for them, and not to get on a tangent here, but yeah, I installed that for years. And let me tell you, when I was being told to go into a house and make them switch from their 100 meg cable to a 0.768K and tell them that it's faster than cable, cancel. I said, you don't want this. Cancel the order. Just sign here. What do you mean I don't want it? I said, you don't want this. Cancel it. This is no good for you. No, I don't care. Oh, they told me it's 10 times faster in my kit. No, it's not. But but I mean, I got 50 meg and 10 megabit upload, but that's not enough for the live stream. The 10 megs with the chat.
I have 3 megabyte upload.
Yeah.
And it fails half the time.
Yeah, no good.
So I totally get it, but it's the only game in town where I live.
Yep. Well, I mean, they're putting.
Because I'm in the backwoods.
AT&T is putting down so much fiber in Florida and everywhere else. I mean, I was putting down fiber every day, and I was running these fibers down the road under 5, 6, 7 driveways, and I mean, it was 1,000 up, 1,000 down, and the ping was like 4 milliseconds, and it was great, 1,000 on Ethernet, not wireless. You get about 450, 500 on good wireless. But so then you get the people that ordered fiber, right, and they'd get 1.5 meg. And I'd have to spend 8 hours to run it down this 5, 6, 7 telephone poles, run it down to their house, crawl through the attic, run the fiber. Oh, I want the modem right there. I want it right here. Okay, I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to charge you to fish that wall, and they'd cry about that, and then you get 1.5 meg. And I tell them, really, you don't want to upgrade to 100, 75? Nope, just need to check email once a day. I'm like, oh, that's terrible. But me, I'm struggling with 50 down, 10 up, and I'd love to have fiber, But
oh
yeah. But think 10 years from now, it's going to be 10 years from now. Something like this rugged spot's going to be in a museum. It's going to be out of date. Fiber is going to be the thing. Everybody's going to have fiber. If you don't have fiber,
5 years, it'll be. You know what? I predict in 5 years it'll be built into the radios.
Yeah, what Wi-Fi you're saying, or the hotspot? Yeah.
The hotspots will be built into the radios. We won't be using things like rugged spots or open spots anymore.
Right.
I know it. That thing is awesome. That rugged spot is so cool looking.
I like it. I mean, am I the only one?
I wanted one.
Am I the only one with it? Am I the only one with the yellow? Oh, look, the green screen's taking the yellow out. Oh, look, dude, mine's clear. It's a transparent rugged spot with the green screen effects. Look at that. I bet you don't have one of those, Bob. You got to watch the video.
I don't.
You got to see the video because it's see-through now with the green screen. Yeah, it's matching the color.
And Roberto Ellison, M3NDX. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, I'm back. And look at that rugged spot. I'm watching you. You're like 10 seconds behind.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No, the rugged spot's fine, and I want to.
Let's get back.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to discuss with you the FT2 and the FT70.
Okay, so
how about that?
Yeah, so
I think
so. Let's talk about it. What you brought up that you are a fan of the 70, and I am a fan of the 2DR.
I am a fan of the 70.
Okay, Now,
I tried the. Go ahead.
where do you hang out on Fusion?
I'm hanging out on America Link. From FCS, what is it? FCS 03, room 90, which is supposed to be ported to America Link.
Right.
I was on there, talked to a guy, told everybody, and somebody was trying to get through. They said, nope, couldn't hear you, couldn't hear anything. I don't know if he wasn't linked or if my link is only going partially through it. I don't know enough about Fusion and wires to be intelligent.
Well, what I think, though, and I said this last time on the other video, was I like this. You see, it's funny. I probably could get away with the FT70 and not have to buy this. The thing I like about the FT2DR is basically boils down to all the Wires X features. However, you can't use any of those features through a hotspot. And I have a repeater that's actually online. There's like 5 Fusion repeaters in the area. I can hit my repeater from here, and I can go through and do other things like the picture messaging and the news function, upload, download. I've actually dropped into a few repeaters across the country, whatever, and I dial in, and you can leave like a voice recording or a picture on their repeater, and someone else can go into the repeater afterwards. And,
that would be the news.
Right, yeah.
On Wires X.
Yeah, so I've done that a few times. I've popped into repeaters, that I've seen people talk on, whatever, and just put in, and the picture messaging and stuff. But you can't do none of that on a hotspot, so I might as well have an FT70. But I don't think on that radio you can link up and down with that radio, can you? You don't have any linking functionality.
Yes, you can.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. I can get on Wires X, and I have full linking capability through DTMF tones.
Through DTMF, okay. Now, I was under the impression that
I have to remember stuff then, which sucks.
Well, that's
so I go out to the Jeep, I get on my FTM 400, link everything, and then I could go talk.
Right, but you could push the wires. You have a Wires X button on the 70?
Yes.
And when you push that, what happens? Does it give you anything on the screen that tells you you're linked or where you're linked?
Oh yeah, it tells you you're linked. It tells you where you're linked, and it has 5 boxes. You can enter in a room that you want to go to, and you got to enter in the room number, and hit the key, key it up. It sends it, and it'll hook you right up to it, and you can put up to 5 memories in there.
DTMF memories.
No, 5 linked memories that you enter in. You enter them in with the dial on the top of the radio.
Okay, so hold on one second. A good receive-only HF antenna. Question in the chat. I would say any antenna that is a good antenna would be a good receive antenna, because I don't think they market a lot of antennas as receive, but like they have like the Dicecone that say they go 2,000 to 3,000 megahertz, but you're better off throwing a wire up in the air. You'll receive better than any kind of Dicecone you can buy.
I'll tell you what I am working on, and I'm going to have a video on it, it's an MFJ receive-only loop antenna.
Right, I checked one of those out.
I've got that hooked up to the back of my K3, and when I've got noisy conditions, and we got horrible noise in this area. So I've got a constant on 80 and 40, I've got a constant between S7 and S9 noise level at 5, 6 in the morning.
But what's cool with that receive loop, you could turn it and null out some of that noise.
I can null out a lot of that noise, and it picks out the signal right out from under it. Very, very nice. But it does, it does attenuate quite a bit of stuff. So you're not trying to work weak signal stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta worry about that.
I mean, if I was going for a receive only antenna, though, I mean, that a receive loop like that would be a viable option. But it'd just be as good as putting up a regular antenna and not transmitting on it. I mean, if that, if you had the room for that, you put up a 80 meter wire, or even an 80 meter square loop, or even a cobweb would be. That cobweb pulls in so many signals. I could set one of those up for
it really does. It really does. But a lot of guys that are looking for those, for that receive only capability, I think a lot of guys live in antenna restricted neighborhoods and stuff where they can't put that wire up in the sky.
Or they're shortwave listeners. I've heard a lot of people that are shortwave listeners that never transmitted in their life, but they're constantly listening to HF and all that stuff. They listen around the world, and that might be another one, shortwave listener. Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, somebody was asking, okay, Bob, how do you do it without a HRI 200? I don't get on Wires X without an HRI 200. This is for Chris Dameron. I don't get on there without the HRI 200. I'm using a friend's Wires X node that's located about 5 miles from my house, so I can pick the thing up pretty easily from the Jeep, and I can also get into it on the FT70.
I forgot what I even did with that HRI 200 to get that thing linked up to the repeater. It's been so long, but I remember that you had to register it, and then you had to configure it so that all the traffic, I guess, goes through the HRI 200 to the network. And it kind of stinks that Yaesu doesn't allow the technology. I guess if they did, nobody would ever buy an HRI 200 again if they let Wires X go through something like a hotspot. Because you have the Wires X rooms and all that functionality, and then they have now where you could what do you call it? Syndicate multiple repeaters on the new System Fusion 2, I guess, where you can link 4 or 5 repeaters together and they all come up at the same time, which is, I believe, a Wires X functionality, isn't it?
It is.
So you can't do anything like that with a regular hotspot.
No, you can't. You can't. And I think the big thing is Yaesu wants to keep that. They're trying to keep that. What did they tell me when I talked to them? They want to keep it clean, and they want to keep it free of spam and free of what it really amounts to is they want to sell equipment, and they want to keep their system. They want to keep their system proprietary.
Yeah.
They don't want people hacking into it.
Well, I mean, if you want my opinion, there's more people on the YSF and DCS or FCS reflectors than there are on Wires X. That's the sad part about it. Everybody's on America Link. Everybody's on those different reflectors. Not a lot of people are going for the Wires X. I mean, that's the bad part about it. Someone's working on a bridge, though, I'm sure, where you can bridge one or the other. That's what they're trying to do.
They are.
I'm sure.
They are. I'll tell you, the thing that really has got me excited, the most excited I've been on the digital side of this is the XRF reflectors on D-Star. That, man, the stuff that they're doing, the technology that they're doing, it's all open source. It's not run by the D+ crowd, and they're probably going to kick me off of D+ for saying this. But it's not dependent on the trust. It's not dependent on all that stuff. So really, if you want to start up an XRF reflector, they said, hey, go rent a Google server if you want, and you could host it on a Google server. We don't care. Whatever you want to do. And they've got nets that are just really incredible over there.
And you've mentioned this. You've mentioned this to me about the X. You hang out, I think, on the XRF 002 or wherever it is, and I still haven't got over that way. Other than if I link or tell my hotspot whatever to do it with my phone. But I'm so used to clicking on the ID 5100, hitting link to reflector, going to some few favorite reflectors that I go to normally in the list, but you can't go straight to, I don't think, without using DTMF on the keypad, you can't go straight to XRS or XRF or XRX unless you have it, either DTMF or another means. So I'm so used to going 30 Charlie 1 Charlie 4 Bravo, all these other reflectors. I never get on there. I really need to get on, those other ones you're talking about.
Yeah. I kind of found them by accident, and now the D74, it's very easy. You can pick. I want to go to an XRF reflector, and it brings them right up, right in the list. I'll tell you what, that D74, it is the Lamborghini
of
handheld.
That's your handheld. I remember you saying that you like that thing.
I love it. I love that thing.
I'm just not a Kenwood guy. I don't buy Kenwood, so
that was the first Kenwood radio I ever bought. That was the first Kenwood radio I owned, and before that, I was an ICOM guy. I was a straight up ICOM lover, and didn't like Yaesu. I had a bad experience with Yaesu, and I dumped them all and went to ICOM, and I was happy.
Well,
until that D74 came out.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I've always been a Yaesu fan. In my earlier videos, I always said, I liked it. That was my first radio ever. That was radios I bought and this and that. And then I didn't have a lot of ICOM, but then I started getting an ICOM. But I'll tell you what, before I even, I got an ICOM hat on. The guys at ICOM are great. What turned me off a little bit, too, was all the times that I even mentioned how much I loved Yaesu. And not trying to get anything from them, but all the video. Hell, we've talked more about Yaesu tonight than I've talked about any other brand in this video, right? And then I meet him at a Hamfest, and I'm like, the Dennis Machenbacher, he was great, but I haven't seen him the last couple of times. Then I run into the other guy, and he's like, yeah, we know who you are. What makes your videos any better than anybody else? Because what I said to him was, hey, I did a video on this and did a video on this. I got a question because a lot of people ask. He's like, well, what makes your videos better than anybody else? I'm like, well, all right, let's start over again. Hi, my name's Eric. Can I talk to you about this radio, And it just didn't even care. I'm like, man, that sucks, man. I'm a diehard Yaesu, but man, those guys at ICOM, I met Ray and them, and they were just nice as hell. And they just wanted to talk about everything. They didn't even know who I was in the beginning, and they wanted to just talk about everything. And Ray's like, I think I know who you are. I think I've seen you before. I was like, maybe, but then that was a couple of years ago. So I mean, that means a lot to me. Coming from an AT&T world where customer service, I mean, again, if the company, I understand you're busy at a Hamfest and stuff, but if the company goes out of their way to talk to me and show me and try to explain the product to me, that means a lot for me. And think about all the people that watch us that buy things because of what it's it's the same thing. A lot of people watch our videos and they're like, they trust our opinion a lot of times, and that means something to them. But if they ask us a question, besides this chat here that we've totally ignored this whole time, if they ask us a question, if they ask me a question hey,
I'm watching, guys, I am watching the chat, and I'm waiting for somebody to ask me a question. Let's see. You can already connect your Pi-Star hotspots via Wires X. Do the same thing except on YSF instead of Wires X. I don't get that, but I don't use a Pi-Star. I set one up for a friend, and I can't even get the thing to work under half the modes I want to do it under. So I'm not a big fan of Pi-Stars right now.
I kind of like the Pi-Star. The only thing I just don't like about the open spot is the fact that I forgot you can't pull up the Wires X info, and I got to go back to old school DTMF, But other than that, I like how it's smaller, I can do all the modes because the Pi-Star, everybody's like, oh, you can do all the modes at once. I never do that. And I hate being on DMR, then someone comes on D-Star, and all of a sudden it's bing, it switches me over to D-Star. I do one mode at a time. I'm not talented enough to talk to 4 different modes with 4 different radios in my hand. Yeah. So I need that thing to connect to one reflector and sit there and be small, and that's what the open spot does. So that's why I like it.
Yes. Yeah. And you brought up a really good point with that. Having the Pi-Star, I was all jazzed about getting a hotspot that did all 3 or 4 at the same time. But then I remembered, well, you said that, and I remembered how frustrating it is on DMR because I have the NorCal talk group plugged in as a static talk group, and I would be on TAC 310 in the middle of a QSO, and there would be a little break, and all of a sudden NorCal would come alive, and it would lock the radio into NorCal, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Yep. It was a good concept, but it aggravated me, so I always turn that off. So if I wanted to be on D-Star that day, I'd open the phone, log in, turn off C4FM, turn on D-Star, and I'd leave it there, and then I would control everything from the radio, But now I gotta remember how to program the memory, because I guess with the open spot you don't need the RPT1 and 2 and all that stuff, so it's just a regular simplex frequency. Because it took me forever to figure out how to get it to work with a Pi-Star hotspot, and then now I remember it's so easy with the open spot. Just go to a simplex frequency and away you go. So.
Yeah. Got a question here from Chris. It says, Bob, what can I do with this radio with no HRI 200? Chris, what you can do with no HRI 200 is get a hotspot. Go buy an open spot or go buy a Pi-based hotspot, set that up. You could get on the either the FCS reflectors or the YSF reflectors. You could port into some of the Wires X talk groups from there. And who knows, maybe Yaesu will wake up and figure out that they're losing a lot of business by trying to sell an extra radio and an extra box to everybody.
Exactly. Well said, Bob. And here's the open spot he's talking about, the little hot spot. So you buy one of these, and this becomes your basically your repeater, your HRI 200. I mean, this, you talk into this with your radio, and then it takes your signal, puts it out on the internet to come out wherever else. You're definitely not lost without a HRI 200. It's just the fact that the functionality you could do with the HRI 200, like he said, Yaesu wants to keep that their way. So you're better off using your money, like he said, to buy a hotspot instead of buying an HRI 200. That's my opinion. Until something.
Oh yeah. Unless you have some big curiosity and several $100s to buy yourself like an FTM 100 and the HRI 200, because to use the HRI 200, and I'm kind of basing this off of your video, Eric, is you have to sacrifice a radio, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, yeah, exactly. I never did the HRI 200 with the radio, but I've seen people buy a whole FTM 400 and then it's sitting there with the HRI 200, and I feel that's a waste of a radio.
Oh, that is a horrible waste of a radio.
But then, now, again, I can't remember, but I think people were saying that you could plug the mic directly into the HRI 200 or I forget how that works now. And the one guy said he's talking to me directly with the mic into the HRI 200. I don't remember that. I don't remember being able to do that, but I guess that's an option. You can.
And I'm also wondering, do you have to have a Windows computer up and running the whole time that this thing is on?
Well,
or
for my repeater, for my repeater, I do, because it's just Ethernet to, because you have the Wires X program open and shows you who's connected to your room and everything that's going on in your room or node. So if that program's not running, or if the repeater wasn't working, normally I would log into it on TeamViewer and remote reset the program or the computer to get it to work. But yeah, I think you have to have the computer running. If that's the case, it would have never froze because the HRI 200 always stayed on. But if that computer went nuts, you had to reboot the computer to get the repeater to come back online.
Oh, you see, that's a deal killer for me.
Yeah. It's been like 3 years, I forget.
Yeah. Number one, I don't own a Windows computer, and I don't want to own a Windows computer.
Are you a Mac? Are you a Mac guy or a Linux?
I am a Mac guy. I am a tried and true Mac guy. I've been that way for probably 15 years now.
Shame on you. Go ahead.
I'll never go back to the blue screen of death.
Yeah, I haven't had one of those in a long time on Windows 10 though. I love Windows 10, but go on.
Yeah, but But anyway, and I don't want to tie up a computer to run, to run a radio, especially when I'm in and out of here. I'm not here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought about doing it. I thought about putting up a little fusion repeater here at the house with a Wires X node and kind of open it up for all my friends to use. But if I've got to have a computer running the whole time, I don't know if I'm interested in that.
Yeah. Well, like you said, when they wake up or something changes, we'll figure out what the future of Wires X is, because Lord knows I have this $139 camera mic for my Fusion with a camera on it, and I can't send anybody a damn picture because I got to be in range of a repeater to do that. So that's
or you got to be in simplex range, yeah.
Yeah, which I've done a couple of times. I sent one to a guy up Melbourne to me. He's 30 miles north, and I had my Yagi facing that way one day, and I was talking to him on analog simplex, and I said, "Hey man, you ever use that?" He's like, "I didn't even know this thing could do pictures." He had the 400. Buys the radio, doesn't know anything about that stuff. So I was like, stand by a second. I took a picture. Sent
what
it.
Is that, a $200 mic?
It's like $149, $139. Second time I've had it too.
Cha-ching.
The first one I had, I bought, and I sent one picture with it to this guy, and it popped up on his screen. He's like, "Whoa, how do I do that?" I'm like, "Well, it's $149." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." And then that was the last picture I sent. And I sold it, and here it is again, and I've yet to take a picture. I thought about having a whole photo album from a Hamfest only taken with this.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty fun. Filling up an SD card.
That would be kind of
Filling up an SD card with the microphone camera, but the resolution is not the best. So it's just a cool thing to have. With the D-Star, you can do it with a tablet. So you just,
I could see that in a search and rescue kind of an environment or something like that. If
Skywarn.
Yeah, you're on an entry team, and you're going to go in and kill the Taliban. Kind of military.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, hey, I let's get back real quick here, because I know you're probably ready to go to bed. It's got to be 11 o'clock there.
Yeah, and it's way past dinner time too. I skipped beer.
Yeah.
I skipped beer time. I skipped dinner time. But but go on, finish up.
Yeah. Okay. So the FT2 to me, at $400, that becomes a high-end radio, and I bought it at NVCon against my buddy's advice. He said, "You're going to hate it." He's all, I hated it, and he buys everything. I mean, he's this guy's like he's.
This call. Hold on a second. I'm going to get that call after Bob. So the 970 number. Just hang on. Go ahead, Bob.
Okay. But anyway, I bought the radio, high-end radio, but the number one, trying to get the drivers to load under Windows was a complete bitch.
For the firmware updates?
For
the firmware updates?
Well, just to get the drivers to load so I could hook the thing up and program the radio with all my local repeaters and everything.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not typing in 40 repeaters.
No, but you're talking about the Yaesu software that they provide online.
The Yaesu software.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yep.
That's why I got the RT Systems. That software is horrible. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the worst. But so anyway, between that and the speaker sounded very hollow. It wasn't acoustically pleasing to me.
Right.
The fact that you can't enter in an entire repeater name, and you got an LCD screen. I mean, you should be able to do anything with that screen. It should at least have the functionality of a DMR radio, of a $100 DMR radio, and yet it doesn't. And then trying to do DTMF tones on that radio
It's cumbersome
is
with a
next
touch
to
screen.
freaking impossible.
Yeah. But see, I don't use the DTMF much until now. I have to use them with the open spot. But I get what you're saying because you don't have the buttons right on the front. So you have to hit it, you have to key up, then you have to push the DTMF, then the screen comes up, then you dial in what you want. Yeah.
And I'll tell you honestly, and here's where Yaesu really falls down. Had Yaesu said, you know what, we'll give you a radio for a month to try and review and then send it back to us, I'd say fine. I would have worked through the first initial problems, but I spent $400, and after 3 days of trying to get the thing up and running, I called the HRO and I said, hey, I'm going to send this thing back. And they gave me an RMA number. I sent it back, and I was done. Mm-hmm. And, because at that kind of money, I have to compare that radio to the D74. And it was no D74.
Yeah, that D74 is nice because they designed the case to be acoustic for the sound, to sound really good like that. It does sound good. I've talked to a lot of people that 74 and they love it. I just like the functionality of the 2DR, the quirks you said. Yeah, you're right. And I like how it's got APRS in it and stuff. But see, that's what makes us different because I'm not a memory guy. A lot of times I'm dialing the stuff in by myself. The only my all the years I've had Bofungs and everything, it was always 146640. The offset's already there. The tone, if I'm in the area, is already there. And I want to go to the Melbourne repeater. It's 146850. It's the same thing with my cell phone numbers. I don't ever use contacts. I dial all my numbers so that if I ever lose my phone, like I dial my wife's number 772, and I do it every time but there's guys that go in, they're fumbling and they're going like this and they're going through their contacts and they're like, scrolling, and I'm like, no way, man. I got the number dialed. I know my boss's number. If I break my phone and I can't get to work, I can go to somebody's phone. Hey, can I borrow your phone? Dial my boss, call him right up. That's just so I don't use the memories and the alpha tags and stuff. So that might be what makes us different with what you were saying about
that. Probably is because I don't know anybody's phone number. I don't even know my wife's phone number. I don't know my kid's phone number.
Yeah.
If my phone died completely, I'm done.
I know Walmart's phone number, 5898528. I know everybody's number,
Yeah, and I don't remember repeater frequencies. There's a couple of them that I know because like my local club frequency, I know that frequency. I know 14652, but beyond that, really, I don't remember those. I like to use descriptive tags to help me remember, or navigate where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm the total opposite, man. And I got the RT systems.
You would actually love the FT70 because it is so simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost too simple.
Yeah.
It really is almost too simple.
Because I would be doing that. I would be dialing in a local analog machine and then dialing in the hotspot and just doing it that way instead of having, to worry about all these. Because there's no memory. Yeah. There's no memories programmed in this right now. And I use this thing again the last several weeks. But look, I got 1, 2, 3. Look, I got 3 memories, and I know you can't see it yet. You'll see it in the delay here, but there's 3 memories in here. That's all, and I put them in myself on the radio. I didn't use it. I didn't even open the RT systems yet. So that's what
you're wasting. You're wasting half the radio. But then again, being limited on that radio, being limited to 8 characters, that to me is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I like about D-Star is the fact that you could send that extra message, like where you're at, or, if you're working a JOTA, deal or you're doing whatever, you could put that in on the fly and it sends that out to everybody so they could see it. There's nothing like that under the Yaesu banner, and these are high-end radios.
Right. Well, the fact of the matter is Yaesu doesn't care what you and me have to say either because they still don't want to contribute.
Well, that's true. And what was funny was when I was in VCon, and talking to the Yaesu guys, one of them knew who I was, had seen a couple of my videos.
Right.
And he said, we ended our creator program or whatever they called it. And it's like, okay, cool. So I decided, I was really excited to do a review on that radio, on that FT2. And so I bought it. I said, screw it. Okay, I'll buy it. And they gave me a hat.
Oh, my. Well, I got like 9 hats up there, but not only that, this is the 3rd time I've bought this radio. I said my one video when I just got it, because I bought it, needed money, sold it, bought it, didn't use it, sold it, then figured I'd buy it again, So that's
I'll tell you what, with not using any memories, and that's kind of interesting. Another difference between different people and how we all operate. You don't use the memories. I use memories extensively.
Mm-hmm. I got a whole SD card full of memories on my ID 5100. I use 2 channels: analog repeater and hotspot. I mean, that's it.
I have 200 frequencies that I plug into every single radio I own. They're all set up exactly alike. Doesn't matter, cross brand, whatever.
Right.
But I'm not entering 200 frequencies into any radio by hand.
No way.
It just ain't gonna happen.
No way.
Just ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
So and I'm not gonna remember 200 frequencies.
I remember what I need.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Well,
there you go.
Bob,
you're a simple man.
Listen, it is. I'm going to get this other phone call. This guy's going to come back because he's been calling. But listen, I appreciate you being on here because you gave me something to talk about. And of course, let's see. Right now, we've had like the same 53 to 57 people watching.
I know.
But you know what? I really want to. Now that this was the 2nd run. Yes, I'll get your call. Hold on a second. I wish I had a please hold thing. But I'd like to get with you and Jason, and if we could do a whole nother thing, and I think between the 3 of us, we could come up with some interesting topics for sure.
I think so. All right, my friend, get to the other calls, and to the 52 guys that are watching right now, thank you so much. Go out and watch a K6UDA video, subscribe, like. Hit the
turn on notifications. You got to turn on notifications because when Bob
hit that little bell notification at the top, because obviously subscriptions don't matter in YouTube.
Well, you know what, Bob? If everybody would have hit the bell in my audience, they'd all know we're live right now. But they're going to find out tomorrow, and it's not as fun watching it when they find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's where they all are. They're all doing more important things instead of watching my ugly face. But if they had the bell turned on, they would have known we were live.
There you go.
7-3,
right,
Bob.
Eric, hey, great to talk to you. 7-3, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right, man. Take care.
K6UDA, clear.
See ya. Boy, that was cool, man. That was awesome to have him call. He made half the show. Without him and the other person that was calling, the 9 number, you can call now. I'm sorry to do that. It'll probably be someone important that I've blocked for the last 20 minutes. But yeah, Bob, check him out, K6UDA Radio, and we're going to be wrapping this thing up here in a minute. I did not expect being on this long, and I cannot believe that I have been on this long. But I'm waiting to see who this person is. If they call, there he is. There he is. Let's see who this is. I feel bad now. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Hey, this is N7VDR in Fort Collins, Colorado.
N7VDR, is it?
Yep, Victor Delta Romeo.
I'm sorry that I got into it. You know, what I need to do is I need to get something where I can answer a couple calls and leave them there on hold so that I can get to them or conference them. But unfortunately.
Yeah, because it goes to your voicemail and then that's the end of it. But no big deal. I got through finally.
Cool. What's up?
I have some information that I think Bob's going to be interested in too.
Okay.
And are we live now?
Yeah, we're live. Bob's in there watching, so go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to explain this in the chat window. but I couldn't articulate it well in text. So basically, any Yaesu radio that has WiresX functionality will connect to a Pi-Star based hotspot just by turning the WiresX mode on and pinging the hotspot.
Right.
And it connects exactly the same way as it would to a WiresX box.
Right.
It'll bring down the list of YSF reflectors that are in the Pi-Star software, and you can connect to them that way. You can do searches, or you can direct enter numbers the same way as you would with WiresX, except it's YSF.
Right.
But a lot of those YSF rooms are linked into WiresX. Some of them are anyway. So.
Well, yeah, and that's what we were saying, because I guess he's not a Pi-Star type guy. Me, I use Pi-Star a lot, and that's what I miss about going to the open spot, is because that hotspot running Pi-Star, I can do that, where I could hit the WiresX button, it comes up, I can see the list, and I could tap on it, and it says you're connected. And then I could also direct entry, whatever. But now I have to use just DTMF, so I got to remember the codes, hold the button, hit DTMF,
right,
then type it in. So that's one thing I love. But from my understanding, I'm pretty sure that even though you can pull up the list like that, there's no WiresX functionality at all through a hotspot at all. You have to have a HRI 200 with a repeater or whatever running that.
Well, no, you're not you're connecting to the YSF network instead of WiresX.
Right.
But the functionality is exactly the same as if you were connecting to WiresX.
But I can't send a picture or anything.
Well,
I mean, that's what we're talking about.
No.
I got this $150 microphone here. I can't share a picture with you. unless
right.
I use a
well,
local
I don't
repeater,
know.
you know.
That may not necessarily. If we were on the same network, I bet it would work. Now, I tried that with my ICOM. I've got a ICOM IC 4100A, and I put the Bluetooth module in it, and I got the application on my phone, and I was able to send a picture to a friend of mine that has a D74A, and he was able to receive a photograph that way. So that's pretty cool. But again, we're talking D-Star to Fusion. So
really, okay, yeah. Well, there's so much cross moding and all that stuff going on. I mean, I know that I tried doing it a couple times with my Pi-Star, and if that was the case, I think a lot of the reason too is you've never seen that or heard that, because that would tie up the entire reflector for the whole minute and a half it takes to send a picture. And I've never seen
right.
that. I've never seen that happen before.
Right. Well, yeah, especially if you're doing high speed data, the radio goes into wide mode and opens up the fat type. So
right, and all the hotspots force it to like the narrow mode.
Right.
So I don't,
well, anyway.
Well, that's he sees that message, and yeah, Bob, you can just get an example of what he's talking about on my video when I was showing the FT2D with the Pi-Star hotspot, where I showed you push the WiresX button 1 2 3, it comes on, you can go through the list. I never did get the whole thing down with the names of the rooms. Like, they show you in the manual, you can call it football, or maybe someone's got a room called football, whatever. You could dial it in by name. Nothing, even type in America, it never comes up. I guess it's got to be exact to the space and the hyphen and everything else to get it to come up. Because if you search anything in that, search for a room, it doesn't never work for me. So I
try a search with U.S. That'll bring up most of the United States rooms that have U.S. at the beginning.
Okay.
And it brings up like 40 or 45.
So just search for
rooms.
U.S. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's what I. Yeah.
Okay. I think I was trying
and then
to type.
basically, when I find rooms that I like, I write the number down and do it manually the next time.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Good info. Yeah, I'll have to.
So anyway, thanks for taking my call. That's about all I got.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry it took so long for you to get through. Bob was hogging it. Bob wanted to be a.
Yeah.
No,
he can.
He's good.
He can do that. He's the Elmer with attitude.
Exactly. He's even on my show. He doesn't give a hell. No, he's good. I'm glad he called. But yeah, I got to get something up with where I could accept a couple calls and have them on hold. I got to figure out how.
Hey, and another thing too. Earlier in your chat or in your video,
right?
you were thinking about getting 2 or 3 guys on together.
Right.
Google Hangouts works really good for that. You can get like 10 people into the room on that deal.
Yeah. But now, I'll have to try that out. That would be interesting. I couldn't imagine what we could come up with. Imagine that, like 5 people, 5, 6, 7 YouTubers, and then get calls in. Boy, that would be something else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what that Ham Nation, those guys use, is Google Hangouts.
Yeah. Cool.
So.
I'll have to check that out. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Cool, man.
And
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think I have worked you on D-Star before, so.
Yeah, I got to get back on D-Star here in the next couple of days. I'll be out in the vehicle and I get the hotspot, and I've been playing on Fusion lately, so I'll have to jump back on to. I got yelled at by the Reflector Police on 30 Charlie, so I had to give it a break on there. You know, I guess you're not allowed to talk there. You're only allowed to make the contact and move out, because I had a 10-minute conversation about the solar cycle, and they're like, you could have brought that conversation somewhere else. Everybody's got to hear it. Well, I'll be damned. I mean, it's what we're here to do, right? It's been dead for 3 hours. I jump on 30 Charlie.
That's just it. There'll be periods for a couple hours where you hear nothing there.
Yeah.
Bunch of kerchunking, and then all of a sudden, somebody's got issue with having a 10-minute conversation.
Exactly. And so I said, all right, I'll get off here, but I'll get back on and see what's going on in there. You got the locals that are always in there, the regulars, So.
Right on.
Cool, man.
Good show, man. And hopefully you do this a little more often, because I'll be here.
Yeah, I gotta iron it out, man. This is the toughest thing I've ever done on my channel. Is this right here? This is tough, man. Between the chats coming in, worrying about people yelling at me at their scrum. I'm sure there's been a bunch of people screaming at me earlier. Your audio and video's out of sync. What the hell are you doing? But it's nerve-wracking, and it's difficult watching all this at the same time. So I appreciate you bearing with me, man.
Hey, no worries, man. And I actually watched one of your videos, helped me out the other day. I was programming that 4100, trying to get a memory channel into the repeater, the digital repeater memories.
Uh-huh.
And I followed your 5100 video, and it worked for the 4100.
That is
awesome.
Exactly why I tell people when they say, my first D-Star radio, Kenwood or ICOM. And I'm thinking, if you get a 4100, you're going to know the 5100, you're going to know the 51A, you're going to know the 51A plus 2. You get a D74 Kenwood, and then you get in somebody's vehicle with a ID 5100, it's not going to be the same. You got to figure out, where's this setting at, But that's what I like about the ICOM.
I have both of those radios.
Well, yeah, but as I said, I don't participate in purchasing Kenwood, so I'll probably never own one. but yeah,
anyway, it's a sweet radio, like Bob says.
Oh yeah,
74, the king of HTs for sure.
Yeah, I've talked to a bunch of people on D-Star, man. They love that radio. It sounds great. It always sounds good. There's never a bad report about that radio. Yeah, for sure.
All right, man.
All right,
thanks for letting me call in, and good talking to you, and we'll chat with you later. 7-3 to everybody out there.
Yeah, 7-3. Thanks for calling in, man. Take care.
You too. Bye.
I'll see you. I think that was the last call of the night. What do you think, Bob? Yep. Well, I gotta say this, man. For the people that held on this long, you guys are amazing. I never thought this has been 2 hours and 15 minutes. I just went off on a tangent, started talking. Bob helped me out, give me somebody to talk to. So I appreciate it. But we're gonna, hey, it's at least I can look at it tomorrow and the next day and see what I did wrong, how it looked, what y'all thought about it. You gotta leave a comment or something, and that way I know: do I do this again? Do I not do this again? What do I need to work on? And iron it out more to a regular thing. And maybe it becomes something. Who knows? But there's some people that are watching. They're sleeping in the other part of the world. Other people, they don't want to be on the phone and be live. So that's fine. But to everybody, thanks so much. 7-3. Bob, thanks for calling. Thanks for everybody who called. Gave me someone to talk to. I'm going to end the live stream now. And we're looking at 2 hours and 17 minutes and counting. And YouTube is going to love storing that on their servers. That's a whopping bunch of video. 7-3, guys. Y'all mean the world to me. KJ4YZI. We are clear.